Morning all. This is Dr. Chinna Babu. So now we are discussing about the introduction to communication system. In this, the major motto of this particular communication is nothing but establishing the conversation between transmitter and receiver. And similarly, we can say it as encoder, decoder. Then similarly, that is what we are going to consider in communication, the transfer of information from one place to another and one network to other network. And it should be efficient, such as reliable and secure. A communication system is the process of conveying the information from a source to a destination. Communication system is having so many types of components, such as transmitter, then followed by communication channel, then followed by receiver. The rate of information transfer will be depends upon the rate of information transfer is defined as the amount of information that must be communicated from source to destination. It will determine the physical form and technique used to transmit and receive information, and therefore determines the way system is designed and constructed. There are two types of communications are available: wired communication and wireless communication. Wired communication means there is a channel will be, that means wire is available between transmitter and receiver. In wireless communication, where the communication channel is nothing but the free space. So over free space, we can transmit the signal from transmitter and receiver. The simplicity of the system includes any communication system must be convenient in order to be effective and efficient and easy to use. The reliability includes users must be able to depend on a communication system. It must work when needed and transmit and receive information without any errors or with an acceptable error. So here, two types of systems are available: distortion-less system and distorted system. Distortion-less system includes input is equal to output, is nothing but distortion-less system. When input is not equal to output, then that is nothing but distorted system. Means that the output, the receiving signal may contain some disturbance in terms of noise. The elements of communication system include, first of all, we have to apply the input message. Later on, input transducer, that is, which is convert to the signal which is transferring from transmitter to the receiver, and it is converting the signal which is suitable for the communication. And transmitter is nothing but which is having modulation process, and the channel includes communication channel means wide communication channel or wireless communication channel. And through this transmission medium, the signal is transmitted over the communication channel, and at the receiver end, the received signal will be received by the receiver. Here, the output transducer converts the signal which is suitable for the transmission to the original message. So during the communication channel only, there is a chance of overlapping with noise. So here, noise can be of several types: man-made noise, atmospheric noise, then climatic conditions. Due to the climatic conditions, the noise can be several types, such as white noise, Gaussian noise, additive white Gaussian noise, etc. When we are going to consider the input transducer to convert the message to a form suitable for the particular type of communication system. Example, speech waves are converted to voltage variation by a microphone. Similarly, when we have considered the processes transmitter, the processes the input signal to produce the transmitted signal that suited the characteristics of transmission channel. Example, modulation, coding. Modulation is nothing but actually the message signal is converted to a form and it can be suitable for the transmission over the communication channel or transmission channel. So here in the modulation, the superimposing of message signal and carrier signal is nothing but the modulation. When we have considered the channel, a medium that bridges the distance from source to destination. Example, atmosphere, that is free space, coaxial cable, fiber optic, waveguide. Here, free space is nothing but simply where we are using wireless communication channel. Then coaxial cable, fiber optic, waveguide are used in wired communication channel. The two main categories of channels commonly used are wired communication, wireless communication. Here, wired communication means which is nothing but conducted media, and free space or radiated media is nothing but wireless communication channel. So the channel is made up of metallic cable, that is such as coaxial cable, twisted pair, parallel wires, and others, or fiber optic cable is nothing but wired communication. free space or radiated media, that is, which is we are using free space as the communication channel, and it is nothing but wireless communication channel. There are several losses in medium of transmission. However, each medium introduces losses termed as attenuation, distortion, and adds noise to some degree to the transmitted signal. The amount of attenuation, distortion, and noise depends on the type of transmission medium used. There is normally no signal processing in the transmission medium. It is just the medium where the transmitter is connected to the receiver. At the receiver end, to extract the desired signal from the output channel and to convert it to a form suitable for the output transducer. Example, demodulation, decoding. Other functions that perform it is nothing but amplification, filtering. So here, output transducer is a block which is going to convert the electrical signal at its input into a form desired by the system user. Various unwanted, undesirable effects crop up by using the transmissions such as attenuation, distortion, and here that is interruption, where the attenuation includes reduces the signal strength at the receiver. In distortion, waveform perturbation caused by imperfect response of the system to the desired signal itself. Equalizer can be used to reduce the effect. Noise. Random and unpredictable electrical signals from internal or external to the system. The term signal to noise ratio is used to measure performance relative to an information analog signal. The term bit error rate is used in digital system to measure the deterioration of the signal. The signal can be analog or digital message. Analog, the signal in analog version, the continuation version of the signal, continuous variation of the signal can be considered. All information is transmitted. In digital, the types of samples includes zeros and ones in terms of binary data, what we are going to consider and which can be transmitted. In digital communication system, we are having various advantages and that is various disadvantages that can be considered analog communication system. So various advantages of digital communications include the inexpensive, privacy preserved, and coding can merge different data, error correction can be possible. Then the only disadvantage that we have considered in the case of digital communication system is nothing but larger bandwidth and signal strength will be relatively large. When the distance is going on increased. If you are going to consider the baseband versus modulated signal, the baseband signal is the modulating signal or original information signal, either in a digital or analog form in communication system. Let us consider voice signal, which is having 300 hedges to 3,400 hedges. And transmission of original information, whether analog or digital, directly into transmission medium is called baseband transmission. Modulated signal includes the superimposing of message and carrier signal is nothing but modulated signal, where depends upon the type of modulation. If it is analog, amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, depends upon that. Then the carrier signal can be superimposed with the help of message. When the amplitude of the carrier signal is very in accordance with the message signal, then that is nothing but amplitude modulation. If we are going to consider the frequency modulation, the frequency of the carrier signal is varied in accordance with the message signal, then that is nothing but frequency modulation. See, when we have considered the modulated process, the baseband signal is superimposing with the help of carrier signal, and by superimposing these two signals, we can get modulated signal. The need of baseband transmission, the concepts and parameter of baseband transmission are used in modulation transmission. Performance of baseband transmission is used as the standard of comparing modulation techniques. Baseband signal is not suitable for long distance communication because hardware limitations are being considered, because we have to consider the height of the antenna like that. The modulation process of changing baseband signals to facilitate the transmission medium. Then process of modulation includes frequency translation such as AM, FM. AM includes amplitude modulation, frequency modulation, phase modulation, etc. Sampling and coding such as pulse amplitude modulation, pulse code modulation, and keying techniques such as ASK, PSK, FSK. Types of modulation. Analog modulations are frequency translation method caused by changing the appropriate quantity in a carrier signal. Digital modulation is the result of changing analog signal into binary ones by sampling and coding. Reduce noise and interference. Why we have to consider the modulate? Reduce noise and interference by using proper frequency where noise and interference are at minimum. Increasing power is costly and may damage equipment also. Frequency assignment. For TV and radio broadcasting, each station has a different assigned carrier. Multiplexing. The combining of many signals into one composite signal, common composite signal, then we have to consider the multiplexing process.